that would be better, so that the internet connection does not get disturbed.
And just a heads up, the live stream has begun.
Okay, I'm just gonna copy this link and send this out. Okay, Brother Murmur, are you ready?
Yes. Shall we start, inshallah?
Inshallah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري ويشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. We are continuing, inshallah, studying the chapter Abasa. We studied up to the verse 24, and verse 23 said, human beings, human beings have not been able to fulfill what they are equipped with, if you like. Emara, the dictionary meaning is commanded, but God commanded through creation as far as human capacity is concerned. That's why I say human beings can never be able to accomplish what or fulfill what fully what they are given the capacity or potentiality, which is not disappointing. We said one of our friends said it is very disappointing. I will never be able to accomplish or fulfill my duty perfectly. Of course, when we take into account that human potentiality is endless, we cannot get to the end. We mentioned that although the universe is created and must be limited by definition, but human beings cannot get to the end. Because if human beings could get to the end, they will be facing the non-existence, which is impossible, because non-existence doesn't exist, so that I will be facing impossible. So it is the same understanding as far as human spirit, human soul is concerned. We cannot get to the end, although we are created, our souls are created with endless qualities. The reason we said the wisdom behind the creation of human beings in this way is that I can develop my capacity as much as I can, and having no fear of coming to the end. Because my human capacity is given to me in order to acknowledge its source of existence, which means human soul came from directly with through the will of the Creator. So will of the Creator gave the potentiality to human soul to get to know his absolute qualities. The other creatures, they only reflect the manifested form of the absolute qualities, manifested form in a stable way, in a static way, whereas human soul is dynamic. I mean, when I say the manifestation of the qualities of the Creator is manifested, reflected in the created world in a static way, doesn't mean that they don't change, but they change only as much as they are willed to be. For example, if you look at an animal can reflect the Creator's qualities as much as their material capacity, their animal capacity. They cannot improve within themselves, whereas human beings can. That is the very important difference between other creatures and human soul, not human body though, human soul. Human soul can make progress in acknowledging the infinite degrees of the absolute qualities of the Creator. That is why in front of us, the road should not have an end. I can develop as much as I can, and I become aware of the quality of the Creator through different attributes of the Creator, because they by definition must be absolute, so I cannot come to the end in my realization. I have been given this capacity in a created form. So this argument was in the presentation of the Quran as far as the chapter Abasa is concerned, that human beings could not fulfill their capacity perfectly, and stops there and completely changes the subject as if it is completely different. Now, it starts with the following verse says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. Then let the man, human being, reflect on his food. It means think about it. Why a sudden change is taking place here? Because since human beings, in the previous verse, it is stated that human beings cannot fulfill their purpose, their capacity, but it doesn't mean that it is not possible at all. It is definitely possible to make more and more realization in the manifestations of the attributes of the Creator. And the Quran now teaches how to do that, how to ascend on the ladder of recognition of the qualities of the Creator, step by step, going further, going higher. This is called ascension of the acknowledgement of God. How do we do that? Here is the verse says, come on, start the journey now. How can you do that? Take the simplest example for you. For example, you are always engaged with food. And I think most of us like food. And I cannot avoid food in my practical life. For example, of course, I cannot avoid without breathing, but air is only one nature, if you like. air doesn't change. Whereas food, thousands, hundreds of, if not millions of different kinds of food, everything has different taste, different color, different beauty, different nourishment, and depending on our position, sometimes we need water, sometimes we need salty, sometimes we need soury, sometimes we need sweet, which I like the most. So trying to avoid it, too much sweet. That's my weakness. I acknowledge that. So various kinds of fruits, vegetables, meat, fish, or all sorts of eggs, milk. You cannot imagine, really, you name it, thousands, hundreds of thousands of different kinds of food. So it is a better example, practical example. Everybody is experiencing it. Now, so it says, come on, start from there in order to make a progress in acknowledging the qualities of the Creator. So your eyes are engaged, your tongue is engaged, your hands are engaged. Of course, your body gets nourishment, also physically engaged, and you can reflect. When we look at the food, mostly it is prepared, packed, and presented to us, delivered to us ready, especially fruit, ready. So we will say that there is a definitely purposeful action behind it, purposeful will behind it. No way to escape. But the following verses encourage us how it came into existence, who prepared it. Apparently, we see in the verse 25 now, it says in its original language, "Enna sababna al-ma'a sabba." Now, how it is coming into existence, follow the steps, processes of the food. First, the water is poured down abundantly. But what is important here is the language doesn't say it rains. That's what our language is, which is a falsy language. We have to watch out when we say it rains. What do we mean by it? What is it? Rains. But the Quran says, no, we pour down the water. It means it is deliberately sent by a conscious being who has arranged the universe as we see it. So it is his will. He is sending it. He is pouring down the water abundantly, depending on the climate, order of the universe. But the apparent causes, you see that the water is evaporating, and as it evaporates, it becomes lighter. Of course, it doesn't know what it is doing, but the system is working in a perfect way, as consciously arranged, and goes up, but doesn't go up forever. The pressure up in the atmosphere and the heat in the atmosphere drops there, And they cannot go further because it is perfectly arranged for the transportation of the clouds. So it became clouds, and the wind is employed there, perfectly arranged. And wherever the Creator will sends it according to a certain rule, certain order in the universe. Of course, will of the Creator has chosen a system that human beings cannot attribute it to accident because it is perfectly arranged. It is obvious that a conscious being arranged it and fixed it. But the creation continues within this order. But order is willed to be as it is that we observe out there in the universe and experience it. But we cannot attribute the order to accident. It is so perfectly, every element in the order is intertwined with each other, but no complication we can observe. Perfect arrangement. That's why we can say the water is being sent. It means it is consciously, deliberately arranged in the way that it comes down. And of course, the Quran is not going to tell us about the climate or meteorology or something. So it just draws our attention to the main stages of this food, how the food is coming and how it is presented to our use, to human use. So only certain points are mentioned. ثم شققنا الأرض شقا. And then you see that the seeds in the soil, when they received water, the earth cleaves it, but it doesn't cleave by itself. It is arranged by the one who is speaking here, the creator of the universe. So the language says, ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. Afterwards, we cleave the earth asunder. It means the seed gives out the shoot through the earth. Earth is harsh, but somebody is reminding me that the volume is not high enough. This is the maximum. Do you find it difficult to hear me? Can you?
You're fine here on this side.
Okay.
I can hear you fine.
Thank you. So, thank you very much. I will continue. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. And we prepared the harsh soil to obey the shoot coming out of the seed. Very delicate. If you touch with your hand, it dies. So sensitive, so delicate, but it is a perfectly arranged order there. Then something created at the point of the shoot, it helps the earth to go through. It helps the shoot to go through. You cannot attribute it to an accident. It is perfectly arranged. So the creator of the universe says, it is we who is cleaving, splitting the earth and letting the shoot come out. It is our arrangement. It is our will. Then what happens afterwards? The shoot comes out. At the end of the plant, فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبَّةً, and we cause the grain to grow out of it. Now, the wood itself, it is a plant, cannot grow the grain, cannot grow whatever is vegetable, whatever the grain or fruit. It has no quality. At the end of the branch, it will give a shoot, and from the shoot, the fruit will grow. This is perfectly arranged. It is registered in the DNA, demonstrating that the one who is doing it knows what he is doing. Even he can demonstrate it to you. The plan, the blueprint is already there. It means before he creates it, he doesn't leave it to chance whether it works or not. No, it is perfectly registered which kind of program it is going to follow. And demonstrating to human beings to make sure that the creator is aware of what he's doing, and also the beginning, the previous stages and the later proceeding stages, both are known to the creator at the same time. يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم. He knows what they are doing and what they are going to proceed into. That is what the registration of nowadays, people are aware of it. They can even read it. And I don't know the technical words, but I hear that they call it DNA. DNA is the record of the knowledge of the creator, and letting the human beings know that what the creator is doing is perfectly aware of it beforehand. Everything is arranged beforehand. So the grains are coming. Now, we can go further to the verse 28. Yeah. And also, not only the grains, وَعِنَبًا وَقَطْبًا, the grapes and the fresh vegetation. Now, what are they? Doesn't matter. In our practical life, grapes and fresh vegetation are out there. We see that out of the water coming thousands, hundreds of thousands of different fruits, vegetables, grains. وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا. Now it's specific. For example, look, olive trees and date palms, they are different. They have different qualities, different taste, different color, different design, different packaging, different vitamins or any kind of nourishment ingredients, completely different from each other, but coming out of the same material. Fundamentally water, and we know the minerals in the soil, but they get the same material. They come out of the same material. but the results are completely different. Can you imagine? We are putting into a factory the same standard material, and whatever is coming out of the factory, everything is completely different from each other. Taste-wise, color-wise, design-wise, completely different, and also in different seasons, in different climates, but completely different. I understand that it is drawing our attention to some particularities happening in the process of growing the plants. And at the end, very end, becoming as food for us so that we can benefit from them in many ways, not only by eating. They say photosynthesis happening, and they are cleaning the air, lots of things. I'm not going, I don't know the technical side of it, and it is not the point. Thousands of, hundreds of thousands of different benefits are coming out just by sending water. Of course, the human mind cannot attribute all these trillions of different kinds of processes taking place, but the result is perfect. Olive tree is perfect, date palms are perfect, grapes are perfect, all fresh vegetables are perfect. None of them are the same. For different purposes they are used. For within different climates they are created, and seasons also according to human needs, they are adjusted accordingly. And follows verse 30, وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا, and gardens densely planted. Densely planted, but I hear somebody is raising hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I guess my question was, like, as human beings, are we or are we not an exception to this idea or this concept that, like, for example, the creator knows, in essence, the fate of his creation. So he knows exactly what this drop of water is going to turn into. And in that understanding, like, as human beings, where do we fit? And if our fate is known, I guess my next question was going to be, like, how much of free will is essentially known to the creator versus versus not known.
Excuse me, did you say if our faith is known to the creator?
In a way, yes. But fate, I guess, more important than fate is, I guess, the choices that lead to it. For example, the way that I see this is, let's say we're inside a maze, and a maze has two possible exits. So as a person who's observing people inside a maze trying to get out, it is known to the observer that there are two possible fates. And depending on what choices a person is taking in that maze, it is known to the observer that, oh, this is most likely the exit that this person is going to exit from. So I'm trying to understand, given our own creation, like given our existence, and trying to understand free will as well, how much of our choices and net outcome, like which gate are we going to exit from, is known to the creator pre or post creation.
Can you remind Osman Diabate to turn his video, or you can turn it off?
Yes, please turn your video
You
off.
can turn it off. It is disturbing because, yeah. Have you turned it off?
Sorry, I'm not fully familiar with how to do that, but let me see.
Oh, you can just click on his name and there is an option comes up. Click on his name. Okay. It is frozen anyways. Now, of course, our subject, of course, our subject is not related to human free will and also knowledge of the free will of God, or knowledge of God about our free will. But I understand that since the Quran speaks in this way, it is a suggestion to human beings. Look, I created you with the ability to see and understand what is going on, but at the same time, I am giving you extra information that if you want to fulfill what you are given and perfectly perform your quality in the best way, you have to follow this way. It's an extra information to human beings and encouragement how to develop in understanding the reality of the creation. It means this kind of speech is just a suggestion for those who want to take it for themselves as a guidance, or if someone chooses not to take it as a guidance, they don't. They are free. Our human free will is free. We discussed this a lot, but God's knowledge of my free will, first of all, as soon as I say God's knowledge, I must be aware that I'm talking about an absolute knowledge. Absolute knowledge is nothing to do with this universe's qualities. The universe is, we see it as a created being subject to change, but the one who creates it and continuously, constantly changes it is absolute. So when I say, for example, does God know what I choose now, before or while I am choosing, or afterwards? This is an irrelevant question. It means we are bringing God into the terms that we use for created beings. Before, after, now. We use these terms. These are valid only within the conditions of this created order of the universe. When it comes to God, we cannot use these phrases, but as an extra information about this subject, I can give you as much as I can. Of course, I'm not claiming that I am the best one who gives the best example, not at all, But I'm sharing my idea. If someone else wants to share their idea, I will really love it. So I'm ready to listen to. Now, to anyone who wants to speak, I love it. So let us compare between the manifestation of power, manifestation of knowledge. But we cannot talk about the essence of power and essence of knowledge, because we cannot talk about the essence of anything absolute, infinite. It is beyond the capacity of the universe. So I cannot talk about the essence of the absolute, but I can understand. I'm giving the quality to understand that such a being must exist. The creator must exist, but I don't know the essence of him. Now, let's compare the power when the creator wills to give existence to something, he wills it, it happens out there in the universe. But we can understand that knowledge is not like the power. Knowledge, I'm not talking about God's knowledge particularly, but the nature of knowledge itself. Nature of, for example, I can, before going further, I can share an example. If you want to do something, you have the intention, you go and do it. For example, you want to change the place of the computer, you pick up the computer and put somewhere else. Computer, be careful here, it's a very delicate point. Computer, the place of computer is subject to your power. Again, I will repeat this sentence. If you like, you can write it down. When you change the location of the computer from one place to another, let's say from a point, A point, to point B. Point A and point B. When you take the computer from point A and move it to the point B, now the computer in the point B, this Osman's video really disturbs me. So can you, I think, as host, you can easily turn it off. Just click on his name, that's it. Thank you very much. If he opens again, or you can kick him out, because I don't know whether he's listening or for other reason, I don't know. I cannot pass a judgment. As long as he is there quiet, it's okay. Now, when you do something, the action depends on your will. You change the location of the laptop from point A to point B. When you do it, the laptop is in point B. Why do I tell this? Because I must make a comparison. For example, let's see the nature of knowledge, not the knowledge of God. No, don't misunderstand. Nature of knowledge. Now, nature of knowledge is not like the nature of power. Knowledge, for example, I know that the computer is in the point A. Look, my knowledge is subject to the position of the computer, not the other way around. It means not because I know that the computer is, or the laptop is in the laptop is in the point A, that is why computer is in the point A. Just the opposite. Because the computer is in the point A, that is why I know that the computer is in the point A. It means knowledge is subject to the object out there. Why did I tell all this? Knowledge is dependent on the thing which is known. It's not like power. In the power, the result is dependent on the power. Let's say the result is object. Object is dependent on the will of the power. Whereas knowledge is not like this. Knowledge is dependent on what is known. For example, I know my computer is in front of me. Why did I know this? Because it is in front of me. That's what I know it. If it wasn't in another place, if it was in another place where, let's say, it is on the other side of the room, I would know it as to be on the other side of the room. So knowledge depends on the choice of the person. But when it comes to God's knowledge cannot be talked about in terms of past, present, and future. So God knows without time limitation what I am going to choose. Not because I choose, not because God knows something that I choose accordingly. Just opposite, what I choose is known to God because I choose in this way. That is very simple, but if someone has not thought about it, reflected on it, pondered over it, we can generalize the functions of the qualities such as power and knowledge equally. No, everything, for example, if something has not given existence, we cannot talk about the form, surah, of that thing, of this object. So in order to give a form to a thing, first, that thing must be given existence. Together with it, it must be given existence within a form. If it is not given existence, we cannot talk about the form. Every quality it functions in a different way. We have to understand. If there is no form, we cannot talk about beauty. That's what Quran says. Wallahu al-khaliqul bari'ul musawwir. It means the same sequence is there. God creates, gives it an original existence. Then never anything is equal to each other. Everything is bari, original, brand new. And then as he creates it, it is coming into existence with the form. So if it wasn't created, we cannot talk about the form. When something is created, we can talk about the form. These are how we should understand the qualities as far as we can understand. As to the Creator's qualities, we cannot put them before or after, but the qualities of the Creator are known to human beings only within the capacity of the human beings, which means only within the capacity of me, I can talk about the manifested forms of the qualities of the Creator, which means God knows according to what I am going to choose, not the other way around. I am going to choose because God knew it in this way. No, it doesn't work, and it doesn't make sense as far as human capacity is concerned. But we cannot choose a way out, saying that, oh, God can do everything. Well, God can do everything, but I cannot. I can only get to know God within the capacity He has given to me. So I am responsible only within the limitations of my capacity. My capacity says I can understand God's knowledge as I explained earlier on, just before. My responsibility is I cannot say I am choosing this way or another way. I am choosing to understand this message that we have been studying here, how water comes down, how earth is split or asunder, and how the shoot comes out, and how the fruit and grain are created on the plants, and then how the grapes and vegetations and olive trees and date palms are differently created by using the same material. I am free to choose. Whatever I choose, God, with His absolute knowledge, without being subject to time limitations, my choice is within His knowledge as I choose, not in time, because knowledge is subject to the known one. That is the nature of knowledge. If this answers your question. So we are hearing this. Let me see the chat box. Okay. We are hearing this message in order to fulfill our responsibility as high as possible. But it is an offer. It is not an imposition, coherence, coercion on our free will. Here I am reading it. I can say, come on, I'm not going to bother about it. Can I not? Here is the grape. I love it. I eat it, and I'll enjoy it until I die. What's wrong with it? I can do that. Or another option, really, can the water come down like this, and earth is employed, and the seed, the grain in the seed, or the grain in the soil, or the seed in the soil splits up, cleaves asunder by itself, and the earth lets the very fine shoot, the first shoot, and it goes up and down. The root goes down, the branches go up. Why? I don't know. Is there any reason? We will come to that. We will come to that. Is there any reason? No, we are here. We are reading the presentation now. we will come to the very interesting conclusion. Now, let's read how all the things are coming. It is a suggestion. Think about it. The Creator speaks to me, Ali, think about it. Come on. Can it happen by itself? Is there any way that this arrangement happened to be accidentally? Think about it as you are enjoying it. Okay, verse 31. Source 30, sorry. وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبَةً, gardens, densely planted. Why? Why does it specifically mention all this? Gardens densely planted. No, in the same soil, same mineral, same sunlight, same materials, but just because of the project, because of the blueprint, in one cell of the seed, everything is recorded there. The growth of the plant exactly happens as it is planned, as the planning is demonstrated to human beings. So if human beings change the planning, then according to the new planning, it grows again, according to new planning. Now, it doesn't mean that we cannot change the planning. God says, okay, you can, but you can change it according to my order, as much as my order allows you. All right? So if I allow you to change it in this way, because they say the DNAs are to be changed and somehow controlled, yeah, if it is available, it means the order enables the human beings to operate on it, to change as much as they can, depending on the allowance of the order. So we can change it, and the result is created according to new record of the plan. So all the trees and gardens have the same material, but the outcome completely different. From one side, the garlic grows, another side, the grape grows, another side, potato grows. Everything is completely different. It means there is an absolute quality behind them, making the distinction and giving existence to every individual fruit or vegetable, whatever, growing independently and demonstrating to human minds that in the seed, the DNA, the knowledge is presented differently. It means the Creator is telling me, I am willing to create out of this plant, out of this seed, this plant, out of this seed, another plant, using the same material. So verse 31 says, the fruit trees, the fruit trees and the green pasture. It means for the animals to graze. Fruit trees, all sorts of things, all sorts of plants. People don't know how many kinds of plants and animals have been created. Each of them is perfect within their own existence, within their own form. Some people say it's for 7 million different kinds of vegetables, animals, and living beings have been created. Some people say we have not discovered maybe 100 million, maybe because as the time goes, people discover more and more new species. The point is not 7 million or 100 million, doesn't matter. Even 10 of them were created. Still, we have to pay attention how they are growing, who is operating there, even the DNA who is writing the DNA there, how the DNA is constructed in this way. Can it happen accidentally? So this section is closed with it, not the chapter altogether closed here, but this section is closed here with the verse 32. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. All for you and your livestock to enjoy. What does it mean? No. It means you cannot attribute the outcome of this process to causes, any kind of causes. DNA structure or the elements in the DNA cell to any kind of causes, as we see them causes here, cause and effect in the order. The previous situation, you cannot say soil, water, and sunlight got together, air got together, arranged it. No, there is a purpose. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. Especially the structure of the verse says there is a deliberate purpose that it is arranged for your enjoyment in order to benefit from it. The reader, the human beings, in order that the human beings will enjoy it and your livestock as well. How? Because the result, whatever is created, is also taken care of by the same creator. I like it. If I didn't have the tongue to taste, if I didn't have the nose to smell, you continue, eyes to see. Even they have those qualities, all these fruits and vegetables have all these different qualities. I will notice there is a correspondence between me and what is created out there. I don't know, the potatoes are growing there. I don't know, peaches are growing there. And there is a tool in my tongue to make the distinction between the taste of each fruit and vegetables, everything. There is a power to understand, power to see the different design on them, to make the distinction. This is not an apple, this is an peach. This is an apricot. This is a cherry, for example, I can say, by seeing it, by tasting it, by smelling it. Look at, I am here, a completely different creature. The plant is there, a completely different creature, and every plant has different qualities, and I have been given the tools to make, to distinguish the different qualities of the created beings out there. That is why there is a deliberate interaction between human qualities and the qualities of the things created out there independently from each other. It means it is amazing. If they happened accidentally, why should I have the tools to make the distinction between the qualities of every kind of fruits and vegetables out there and make the distinction? This is apricot. This is not pomegranate. For example, this is an orange. It is not grapefruit. I can tell. Why? Because it is arranged for my enjoyment, physical and also intellectual. So the Quran points out the purpose in the existence of everything by giving the simplest example that everybody can understand. Look at the examples: grapes, fresh vegetable, olive trees, gardens, dens, thousands of them together in the same soil, but not mixed up, no confusion. Fruit trees, pasture, all of them are different, but one purpose: for human being and for the livestock of human being. Again, who benefits from the livestock? Human beings. It is food for us, for human beings. It doesn't mean that we can do everything we want. No, we have to use it only in order to satisfy our need. But even more important to notice that the enjoyment by my intellectual questions, by my intellectual satisfaction, so that when I look at them, I can easily say, look at the cause in the material world, in this universe: soil, water, air, sunlight. They have no conscience. They have no purpose. The seed itself is created as well out of this and these elements. Even the DNA are created out of these elements of the universe. Meta, it means they have no conscience. None of them. But the result out there is a conscious arrangement. But the causes have no quality to have a purpose, to target at this purpose, to make a means of enjoyment for human beings, so that I can understand and express my gratitude, my happiness to this soil. Soil, thank you. Waters, thank you. Or sunlight, thank you. You are great. I cannot say that. They are subject to the order. You can understand that I'm not in the same place anymore. I changed my place. Now this is different. So some people don't take notice of these messages. They get enjoyment by disturbing other people. But God says, I'm doing everything for your enjoyment. Yeah, if you don't listen to this message, you look in a pervasive way to entertain yourself by disturbing people. That is human free will. Custom, as you asked the question. We are free to choose. We have to be mindful of what we are choosing, whether it is worth it or not. So the Quran speaks, as we have noticed there, Quran speaks in an extremely simple way. I mean, I don't think any of the Arabic speaker can make this matter as clear as it is here, but as simple as this. No complication. I noticed that not only here, if you study the Quran, you will see that, especially when the Quran presents the evidence for belief in the creator of the universe, which is called belief in the absolute creator, the qualities of the absolute creator, in Arabic, ghaib, but simply translated into English as unknown, not known. I know such thing must exist, such being must exist, but I don't know, unseen, but my intellect, my eye of intellect sees it, although my physical eyes don't see it. But my eyes of intellect, which is called eyes of consciousness, sees its existence. So this is unknown, unseen, but we understand what people mean. Well, I'm not criticizing the translation. I don't have the best option. I don't know English as much as they do, but they also know that it is not the best translation. Ghaib means, although not physically present in front of me, but I am aware of his existence. In terms of this universe, it is not physically present in front of me. I am aware of his existence. This is, as far as the creator is concerned, the creator who is called God, which is ghaib. But I'm sure he does exist. But I have some other examples. For example, my feelings, I'm sure they exist, but I cannot experience them physically. The meaning in the creation, I interact with the creation, I get the information from the creation, but I don't see the meaning physically. But I can understand. When you speak to me, the air waves hit my ear and I understand what you mean, but I cannot physically see what you mean. But my eye of intellect sees it, grasps it, understands it. That is ghaib. But these are the ghaib within the conditions of the creation of this universe. But when it comes to the creator, yes, he is also ghaib to human physical experience, but not within the conditions of the universe. But we conclude definitely such a being must exist. That's a beautiful way of teaching. Everybody can understand. For example, I have no knowledge of plant life, farming, or uh, biology, zoology, nothing. I haven't studied any of them. But for me, it means the grape I ate some time ago. Well, I shouldn't tell it like yesterday, but a few days ago. Okay, I ate grapes. I know grapes, but a biologist knows grapes much, much more in detail than I do. A microbiologist knows even in a deeper level, greater spectrum of the qualities of the grape. You can go further. A genealogist knows it in a different way, but everybody knows about grapes. No one on earth can say that. Of course, there may be somebody living in some places and have never seen the grapes, but it's a simple example. If not grape, how about olives? How about dates? How about other fruit trees? There are animals. They know. These are simple examples presenting to the people. We always say that the Quran speaks to all generations after it was revealed, all generations. And everybody in different climates. But it starts from the first generation when it was revealed. And practices, I repeat this point very frequently, don't get bored of it. It is important. Most of the people say, no, the Quran speaks only those people who live in Arabian Peninsula. That's what he keeps giving the example of date palms. Whereas, for example, I live in New York, and I've never seen any date palms here. There may be, but I haven't seen them. But Quran speaks to the first generation as an example. It means, look, within the conditions of the first generation, I gave the example of date palms, camel, because they are always together with the date palms and the camel. And I gave the example of the desert, I gave the example of the mountains, and the example of the rain, although rare, but they know it. Okay, what does it mean? I may be living in another century and not experiencing what the first generation has experienced in their time. They experienced in their time. It means, look, I am giving the examples according to the conditions of the first generation that I'm addressing to. So you have to take these examples, adapt it to your own conditions. For example, if you don't know what olive trees here, which again, I have never seen any olive trees in New York, date palms, I didn't see any, but I am seeing a lot of pear, plum trees, apple trees everywhere. Huh? It means I'm reading here olive trees and date palms, but in my experience, I'm seeing plum trees, apple trees. Does it matter? No. That's why the Quran says, take the example according to your life conditions. This is the simplest example, very common example of the example for the people who lived first generation when the Quran was revealed first generation, because it must start from here, and the Quran must establish the practical side of its teaching according to the conditions of the first generation it addressed. It doesn't mean that I should never apply it to my conditions. I can. I will say, since those people, the first generation, were familiar with it, while I am speaking to the people of New York, I have to give the apple example, apple tree example. Where did I get this idea? From the Quran. From Quran spoke to the people who are familiar with the date palms and camel. I have to speak to the people who are familiar here with the apple trees and not the camel, but somehow horses, if not cars. Although human-made, but again, human-made according to the order of the universe. The apple trees are created according to the order of the universe. There is no difference. But human beings may confuse, but the people made it, but people made it by obeying, following the order of the universe. Can they get out of the order of the universe? Impossible. So can the apple tree get out of the order of the universe? Impossible. So it means whoever established the order of the universe is the source of existence of the everything created in it. So, excuse me. Okay. Did we understand here the last sentence was the purpose of all what is said before? Okay. Do you have any questions? I did something wrong. Okay. Let me correct it. No. Okay. I think I did now. All right. Any questions? Any concerns? If you have, please raise your hand, or just without raising your hand, unmute yourself and start asking, making comment, etc. Feel free. Well, this is just between us. It is not an official class that the headmaster is going to be concerned, or the president of the college will be unhappy. No, we are free here, alhamdulillah. We can do anything we want. Please, if you have any questions, concerns, without any hesitation, just raise your voice, inshallah. Otherwise, we can, do we have time? Yeah, we have some time. We can start the other section in the same chapter. It's a slightly different. Again, there is a connection between this section that we studied today and the next section. If you see the connection, although the content of each section seems to be completely different, but they are related. They are related. Now, from this section, if we move to the second section, we will see that completely different subject is under discussion now. Why the Quran changes it? There are some, they are called Orientalists. It means they study the Quran from outside in order to find out what's wrong with it. How can we prove that it is human-made, written by a person who's called Muhammad? They call it Muhammad. Okay. They say Quran jumps from one point to another. That's one of the main criticism. When I look at the subject, yeah, suddenly the Quran was talking about how human beings were created, from which stage to which stage, although they are very arrogant, but they should consider the origin of their existence as far as the physical form of their existence is concerned. So how can they take an arrogant attitude? Because if they believed in God, they wouldn't take the arrogant attitude. If they don't believe in God, it means they are defining themselves in terms of their physical body. So Quran says, look at your physical body. He wouldn't say, think about your creator God. No, it doesn't. Look at your physical body, because you see yourself in terms of your physical body. So consider your physical body. We studied this and the stages of creation there. And then, look, you are perfectly arranged and created and given such an enormous capacity that you can never get to the end. Think about it. And then, if you want to start taking this point into consideration seriously, come on. For example, take a simple example. Look at your food. How it is created by the creator of the universe. And then listed all these stages and the outcome of these stages, examples, very, very worldly, practical examples, as we are reading here, grains, grapes, plants, fruit trees, pasture, and then concluding, saying, look, there is a purpose in it. So if you really look at it carefully, what you will understand is very simple. How? Look, the causes that you are experiencing have no qualities of themselves. They are just earth, water molecule, oxygen, hydrogen, they say. I don't know. Oxygen, hydrogen, I hear only. I'm not expert on this technical science. Whatever, I may be even wrong by naming them. I don't care. Something. But I know they don't have any conscience. But look at the results. What do you see in the results? Existence, plan, power, knowledge, wisdom, purpose, absolute free will. What are we doing now? We have to learn how to analyze the objects. For example, let's take a human art, human made thing. Let's say, okay, there is a cupboard here next to me. Now, there's a cupboard here. Look at the material components of the cupboard. What do you see in this in the cupboard next to me now? Well, my camera is turned off because it reduces the quality of voice. Something is wrong with my laptop. So I look at this. It is made up mostly from wood. It's some pieces metal, handles. Okay. Yeah, alaikum salam, privately. So somebody gave me salam. Anything you want to say? Okay. All right. When I investigate the quality of wood and the metal, and maybe some glues, some hinges there, they are metal. They have no power, no quality, no knowledge, nothing. They are made in this way. That's why they are. They cut on this size, put on next to each other. They cannot choose the positions they are taking. They have no qualities whatsoever. What does it mean? I have to think. When I see the cupboard, I see that it has drawers, it has a section, it has end handle, it has hinges, it has legs, and the surface, color, all the qualities apart from wood and metal, I can understand the qualities. What am I going to do with these qualities? That's what the Quran is saying. You have to eliminate the causes because they have no quality to aim at the result that you are experiencing. So eliminate them. It doesn't mean that you should deny them. No, they are not the agent in making the cupboard. But the qualities of the cupboard, whatever I see them, oh, beautiful color, perfect design, purposeful drawers, functioning, prepared for human usage, prepared to keep my things in a closed place. And design, lovable design, enjoyable design. What shall I do with these qualities now? Later on, no, I didn't say kick this person out. If he insists to show, somebody is sending me a private message. So to show his home life and mixing up lots of appearance of the house, it may be because we are told by Zoom, everybody knows that some people try to do something to disturb the groups using the Zoom programs. That's why they introduced the password. But I said, if he insists, our brother, if he insists to disturb the group here, we can kick out, because it means somebody who has not a good intention. But he didn't. He is nicely listening, and there is no way to have a bad opinion about this person. So I didn't mean to insult anyone at all, but if someone deliberately comes and disturbs the group, then we have to do something. Otherwise, they will keep disturbing us. That is irrelevant to the subject, but thank you for reminding me. But I didn't say kick him out straight away. No, I said if he insists. So if somebody insists in disturbing us, we have to do this. There is an option prepared by the program, Zoom program. We can kick the person out. Okay, anyways, no, it is not the case. Now we didn't mean it, and the person is nicely listening to us, and I apologize if I hurt his feeling. Okay. Now I am looking at the cupboard now. I see lots of qualities which cannot be attributed to its elements. What does it mean? What shall I do now? There is design in the cupboard. I cannot say the design is realized by the wood or the material used in the cupboard. What shall I do? Can anybody help me? What I should do? There are qualities in the cupboard, but these qualities cannot be attributed to its constituent elements. What shall I do with these qualities? Can anybody help me to answer this? Look, we studied the verses. The purpose of all the verses we studied today is to teach us this.
To enjoy them, I guess.
Sorry?
To enjoy them, but through real life.
Enjoy, yeah, but the qualities are there. What shall I do? Where shall I?
Think about them, where they're coming from. How do they exist?
Yeah, but yeah, now what these qualities must be attributed to somebody else wanted to say. I've seen the hands.
Assalamu alaikum, it was Asifa. I wanted to say the same thing along the lines of we need to investigate and find out where are these qualities coming from, go to its actual root.
Thank you. Perfect. What else? So I have to find an owner for these qualities. I have to find an owner. Who can own it? Wood metal, chance, haphazard happenings, accidents, naturally like this. Can I attribute it to nature? Nature itself? It happened to be throughout, millions of billions of years. Can I do that? Or must I attribute it to a conscious agent? Although I haven't seen the maker, but there must be a conscious agent behind the design of this cupboard. There must be. That's a simple example of belief in ghaib. I haven't seen it, but there must be an agent who is conscious, who deliberately does this, because I cannot attribute it to anything which does not have consciousness, like the wood. So when it comes to, let's say, olive tree or grapes, that most of us experience grape. So when I see the grapes, exactly the same thing. The material used in its existence, even the seed and everything, even the DNA, all the things I cannot attribute to the matter, constituent matter. They have no capacity to own these qualities, but there must be an agent. Who is this agent? Who is this agent? I say there must be an agent. I haven't seen him, but this agent must have the quality of power, must have the quality of knowledge, must have the quality of mercy, must know me, and arrange the relationship between me and the grape so that I can enjoy it. That is the verse, meta'an lekum, for your enjoyment. So I can think about it, not only physical enjoyment, but also intellectual enjoyment. I can think about the qualities in the grape and say, these qualities must belong to someone who is not in this universe, but such one must exist. That is how we can understand the qualities of the Creator, by making sure that the causes are not the originator, the creator of the effects. When we separate them, the causal chain, when we break the causal chain, what comes out? The qualities of the creator of the grape. That's how we know God. To break the causal chain, to cut the necessary connection between causation, between the material and the qualities in the outcome, the existent matter, existent things, is the example, as the example given here: grapes, vegetation, olive trees, grains, gardens, fruit trees, and other pasture, everything, grasses and everything. So that is how the Quran teaches that we have to know our Creator. That is the way to look at the creation, to look at the world around us, see the qualities, and try to understand that you cannot attribute the qualities to any constituent parts of the matter. We cannot. So what am I going to do with the qualities? I have to attribute the qualities to the organizer, originator, creator of the universe. Thank you very much. I think we should stop here, and next Monday we will discuss as if completely different subject, but it is not completely different, related, but the group of the verses will talk about a completely different matter, but it is related. There is a really serious connection between these and the next group of verses. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah. Inshallah, I hope to see you next Saturday and next Monday. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم. عليكم السلام. وإياكم إن شاء الله.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Salam alaikum.
عليكم